What do you know about diamonds? This is the first edition of LGDinTech Insights. It's a podcast series launched on the first anniversary of LGDinTech. And you're going to learn about how diamonds are poised to disrupt many technology industries. LGDinTech is an ecosystem of lab diamond producers, post-growth service providers, tech product developers, equipment manufacturers, and research institutions. All of them are dedicated to developing the use of lab-grown diamond. That's LGD, lab-grown diamond. It's also referred to as synthetic diamond. And they're looking for ways to use this for technology and scientific applications. So if you're working in aerospace, defense, high-powered electronics, laser systems, medical devices, microwave, optics, photonics, quantum computing, or semiconductors, this podcast is for you. Today, we're celebrating the first-year anniversary of LGDinTech's pioneering innovations and the introduction of lab-grown diamond for tech sectors. I'm your host, Alfred, and I'm joined today by the co-founder and CEO of LGDinTech, Liz Chatelain. Liz, congratulations to you and your team on LGDinTech's first anniversary. It must be very exciting and a bit of a challenge to launch a global trade association dedicated to an evolving product that still has limited exposure, and at the same time be focused on multiple major areas of potential usage. That's an awful lot to accomplish in 1 year.
Well, Alfred, you're kind of making us sound like we're crazy, but I don't know, maybe we are a bit crazy. I think the reality is that diamond is coming on strong, and that grown diamond has so many advantages, and we're just trying to make sure everybody is up to speed with this. We started LGDinTech as a membership association, building an ecosystem, because grown diamond improves, you're going to hear this a lot, the functionality, longevity, safety of everything it touches, and it can be sustainably produced. And yes, grown diamond can be grown pretty effectively, sustainably, and economically now. Not something that was available just a few years ago. Growing technology-grade diamond is an amazing process, and it could even save lives.
Save lives? All right, now you've got me interested. How can diamond save lives?
Diamond is the world's best heat spreader. Now, grown diamond can be produced quickly and economically, as I mentioned, and it can put an end to batteries overheating through better thermal management. So therefore, probably saving lives, definitely saving the environment. This is really why we launched LGDinTech a year ago.
That's really cool. Now, I know a little bit about synthetic diamonds, but that's been in the context of being used as abrasives in industrial applications. I don't know that much about how grown diamonds can apply to technology. Why don't we know more about that?
Well, that's a really good question. It's been around for about 80 years, but not to the level of application it is at now. In fact, GE scientists started growing diamond in a lab in the 1930s. Grown diamond is now being tested and used in tech applications like never before. And it's on the leading edge of revolutionizing some of them, including quantum. We like to say quantum isn't going to reach its full potential without grown diamond. If you haven't seen grown diamond before, by the way, if you really don't know what we're talking about, here is a grown diamond. This is about a 5 by 5 mm, and it's probably a 0.5 mm thick. But diamond can be grown and then go through a post-growth process and fit into multiple applications. If you want to see grown diamond live, by the way, our group is going to be at SemiCon West in Phoenix, Arizona this October. So come on by. We have a pavilion there with members. We're at 1851, and we'll have lots of grown product there.
Well, SemiCon is just a terrific show, and I hope you have a lot of people show up. So that's one of the main reasons why you started LGDinTech is because you see that diamond is now on the brink of becoming a major material factor in high-tech applications.
And on our website, we just keep, replaying our mantra that grown diamond improves the functionality and longevity of everything it touches. And it can be sustainably produced because it can be grown using solar energy or other renewable energies, and it can be grown quickly within days to weeks, and it lasts forever because it's diamond. So grown diamond is new to most tech industries, but it's being tested in all of them. We're now exploring grown diamond because of how quickly it can be produced and how economically. So this really opens the door to most tech industries. And these sectors could represent over $4 trillion globally. So diamond can enhance all of that technology out there and make it function so much better, last longer, be safer.
I know that some of our listeners probably don't come from a material science background. So can you tell me a little more about why diamonds are so special and not just some shiny, sparkly thing?
So in our consortium, we're really focused on 10 different industries. So we know that diamond can be important to all of them. I mean, diamond, grown diamond, has wide band gap. As I mentioned, it has outstanding electrical transport. Of course, it's the hardest material. It has NV centers. That's really important, especially for quantum. And it's 100% carbon. Diamond is 100% carbon. So it can be used for medical devices embedded in people without rejection in most cases. And of course, its thermal management is like nothing else that we've ever created. And it's because it's the hardest material, erosion prevention is really crucial. So all of these things are important advantages. And, on top of it, it really has all these applications out there. That's why we're focused on so many industries, including, next-gen electronics, quantum sensing. This is so exciting because quantum is such the hot phrase these days. Photonic circuitry, medical devices, space, of course. Space is a big one, and a lot more.
Hi, I'm Liz Chatelain, founder of LGDinTech, and I want to tell you a bit about how diamonds are grown in a laboratory. Follow me. One scientific process for growing diamonds in a lab is chemical vapor deposition. Chemical vapor deposition, CVD, is a technique by which diamonds can be grown from a hydrocarbon gas mixture. In the CVD process, a thin slice of diamond seed is placed in a sealed chamber and heated to around 1,650 degrees Fahrenheit. The chamber is then filled with a carbon-rich gas, usually methane, along with other gases. Then, the gases are ionized into plasma using microwaves, lasers, and other techniques. The ionization breaks the molecular bonds in the gases, and the pure carbon adheres to the diamond seed and slowly builds up into a crystal, atom by atom, layer by layer. CVD diamonds can be grown over larger areas by starting with a larger diamond seed plate. CVD process allows for a finer control over the environment in the growth chamber, and thus the properties of the finished diamond. The second scientific process for growing diamonds in a lab is high pressure, high temperature. High pressure, high temperature, HPHT method, replicates the natural process of diamond formation under the Earth's crust like a giant pressure cooker. The machines used can build up to the pressure of almost 60,000 atmospheres and to the temperature of 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. The growth cell contains all the elements needed to grow a diamond, including a seed, highly refined graphite, and a catalyst mixture consisting of metals and powders. The entire HPHT growing process requires an incredibly controlled environment to produce a gem-quality diamond. Any shift or change during growth can cause the diamond to stop growing, or can create inclusions that result in unusable diamonds. Every diamond must complete the entire growth cycle before the machine can be opened. It's only after the HPHT chamber is opened that we can see the finished rough diamond and its color, clarity, and size. Thanks for watching and learning about lab-grown diamonds.
Just a little ways back, you said you identified 10 different industries that could be targets for lab-grown diamond. I went on the website and took a glance at them. I understand that one of the founding member companies of LGDinTech is a company named Plasmability, and they're based in Austin, Texas. Bob Basnett is the CEO, and Bill Holber is the CTO. And they are two of the leading diamond growing scientists in the whole world. And we've got a little clip here of Bob and Bill talking about how they see some of the promising applications, especially for consumer applications in the near term. So let's see what they have to say.
I'm Bill Holber. I'm the president and CTO of Plasmability.
Bob Basnett. I'm the CEO of Plasmability.
Plasmability is a grower of high-quality CVD diamond. All our diamond production is in Austin, Texas, and all our equipment is manufactured in Austin, Texas. Our interest right now is developing equipment in particular, but material also for different applications.
I think there's a lot of activity currently underway to try and bring diamonds' unique properties, amazing properties to fruition within the semiconductor space. I think there's several different paths that are being worked on, everything from heat spreading applications to actual use as diamond for a device within the semiconductor space. There's some very interesting applications in the medical space. Again, diamond is very biocompatible, so it can be implanted within the body.
Diamond, as you know, has a number of unique properties, some of which are well known. It's very hard. It has very good thermal conductivity, but it's also a very robust material with respect to wear in a demanding environment. And we have customers and potential customers in that space as well. The nearest term scaled applications are likely to be in that, we call it packaging, or you could call it heat spreader applications.
So wasn't that great? These two guys started in the semiconductor industry. And so they saw early on the importance that diamond could play. So when they started designing and building their growing chambers, they really did it knowing future applications. Not a lot of growers come from that type of background. Most of the growers come from the gem background, but these guys come from, semiconductors and other electronic device backgrounds. So Plasmability is one of the finest growers in the world for both gem and tech applications. One thing that's been evolving is a lot of growers gem growers now want to switch and grow for tech grade diamonds. It's not easy to do, and it requires some of these growers to work on their chambers, but it can be done. And I think we have a few slides to show you, which will help explain it. So as you saw from those slides, there is a way to take current chambers, of which, by the way, there are thousands around the world. 90% of them have been growing for gem, but you can convert some of those to grow for tech.
Part of the picture I'm getting is, okay, so we know how to grow these diamonds for, this lab-grown diamond for all kinds of great high-tech applications, but do the tech companies who are going to be using them, do they know about this? Do they understand the availability, the technological advances that they offer?
I mean, when you talk to tech companies, they're engineers and scientists. Again, they kind of know the basics. Some of them say, oh, yeah, we heard about that 15 years. In fact, I was at a trade show and one of the scientists said, yeah, I heard about that 15 years ago. And we never touched it. It was, not really reliable and it costs way too much. And I said, well, it's not like that anymore. The reason it's not like that is because growing for the gem industry took off. There's now a, huge market for grown diamond, lab-grown diamond for jewelry. So that really propelled the entire industry forward and the ability to grow for tech. They're pretty, wide-eyed. In fact, they often say, and I had this exact conversation with someone at another trade show. They said, oh, I just got engaged and I bought my wife a lab-grown diamond engagement ring and she loves it. I said, perfect. Now imagine taking that diamond, manipulating it, slicing it, polishing it, growing it bigger, growing it thinner, whatever you need, and putting it into your tech applications. And he said, well, 15 years ago, when someone approached us on this, we just thought, forget it. And then the cost was way out of bounds and we need volume. So I said, okay. So I'm standing there at this show and I have a couple of growers with me. And I said, well, tell me what your needs are today. And he said, okay, well, we're going to need this price range. It was much lower than gem. So both of my growers who have been in the gem industry are a little taken back. I said, okay, that's all right. What about the volume? And he says, oh, well, I'm going to need, I don't know. And he had a guy with him, a consultant with him. And he goes, well, I'm probably going to need about 4 million units. So now my two growers, their eyes are big. And they're going, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then the consultant goes, oh, wait a minute. Sorry, he misspoke. I don't think he said that right. And I'm thinking, well, what does that mean? And he goes, they order per quarter. So he needs 4 million units per quarter. So now both of my growers want to pass out on the floor. But, that's the disparity between that maybe what the use can be and what the awareness or understanding is. This is another reason why we started this consortium of everyone in the supply chain. We're trying to bring them in, educate each other, help push evolvement of this product forward, and build not just the ecosystem, but a supply chain. The supply chain has to be functioning for all these different applications I mentioned a few minutes ago. So that's really going to be a challenge, right? But I think we can do it.
If we learned anything from smartphones, a few billion units a year does do a fair amount of jacking up a new industry and bringing prices down. So definitely volume can drive all that. But that makes me think about one of the really hot topics. You mentioned it in passing a couple times, and that's quantum computing. Seems to be evolving extremely quickly. I mean, just like a couple of years ago, it seems we had 2 qubits was a big deal, and now we've got bigger systems doing all kinds of stuff. I have to confess that I describe myself as a Newtonian creature stuck in an Einsteinian universe. So I have trouble wrapping my head around some of the quantum stuff, but I do understand a little bit about how diamond might be able to play a role in that, especially with the NV technology. We have a clip from one of the world's leading quantum scientists, Bart Machielse, and he talks about how he uses lab-grown diamond in his work.
My name's Bart Machielse. I'm a quantum research scientist. So we sort of have a unique expertise in identifying the materials, the protocols, the technologies that will make it possible to distribute quantum information over long distances. Again, one of the avenues we're exploring is via diamond. I think perhaps the fundamental challenge in quantum networking is finding the right host material emitter pair that has properties that make it viable for real-world deployment. So the sort of core element of a quantum network is a quantum repeater, and the core element of that is a quantum memory. And so really the function of this memory is to basically catch information that's propagating on light, store it on the memory, do some simple processing, and essentially enable it to be propagated further. So for a memory to serve this purpose, it needs to really effectively interface with light. We're talking about single photons, single bits of light. It needs to be able to capture the information that's stored on that light and save it for an extended period of time. And, this probably sounds like a complicated endeavor, and in some ways it is. And so people have spent 20 plus years looking for the right quantum memory. And the search is still ongoing. I want to be very clear, but one of the very promising candidates are quantum memories in diamond. So really what we're looking at here are these sort of substitutional defects, the nitrogen vacancy, the silicon vacancy. These are things that I guess a lot of serious diamond people are already familiar with in some capacity. But it's basically an atom plus a couple of vacancies that have combined. And these emitters have really cool properties. They have long memory times, and they interface really effectively with light. And so, those are the two main requirements for good memory for quantum networking. But diamond also has a lot of other nice properties, right? It's not sort of a standard CMOS material, but it is, in principle, processable in many of the same ways we do process semiconductor chips. And that gives it another added advantage that, it hosts these cool memories by default. And then you can really carve the diamond into whatever configuration you need in order to facilitate sort of optimal operation of this memory. And it's really those properties together that make diamond very interesting. Its strengths are it naturally hosts good memories, and you can shape it into photonic and electronic devices very naturally using already existing tools.
This is a lot of really wonderful information about Roan Diamond, but are most of your members in LGDinTech, are they mostly on the grower side? Who's in your membership?
Yes, most of them are growers. So at least probably 60% are growers, 60, 70%. The rest are, they just come from different supply chain in this ecosystem we're building. So we have grower members. We also have post-growth treatment companies. So what does that mean? Well, that little diamond I showed you doesn't come out of a chamber looking like that. It has to be sliced. It has to be treated. It has to be polished. So these post-growth treatments are important. Plus, those companies are now taking grown diamond and embedding them or adding them to other components to help enhance the components. So in the supply chain, it's another material that has to be embedded before you get to the final piece, the final component or subcomponent part. We also have equipment manufacturers, very, very important, not just for growing, but for all this post-growth treatment that has to happen. We have scientists and engineers. We have press. We have other just interested groups, including investment groups who want to be a part of the success of some of these companies, which is very exciting also. And really, like any good consortium trying to build an ecosystem, we have a lot of different types of companies and individuals who've joined for their own interest, and they really like our newsletter just to keep them thinking about diamond, keeping that on the forefront as a subcomponent part. In fact, we have over 7,000 people signed up and receiving our newsletter, which is, pretty impressive for just a year-old group.
So how does membership work? How do you become a member of LGDinTech?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of steps that in this supply chain diamonds go through. So there's a lot of companies that are going to touch or work with diamond. And all of those areas, including cutting and polishing, metrology, testing, setting standards, all of those groups are a part of us. So the consortium itself really is looking for and welcoming anyone who feels like that they're in this, that they should be a part of the ecosystem. In our membership, we have a couple of different plans. So first is a diamond grower. If you're a diamond grower, you can join under that banner. And that's really the backbone, isn't it? Because we don't have the product, then none of us matter. So you can be a diamond grower. You can be a grown diamond service provider. So this includes post-growth treatment companies, but it also includes, other manufacturing companies, metrology services, just everything, again, that's in this supply chain that diamond has to go through. That's a service provider. Then we have tech product developers or tech manufacturers. So this is at the end, the companies that are actually going to use diamond. So these are, semiconductor companies, they're medical device companies, they're really the end user of diamond. They can be members. And then we also have community membership. And community membership means it's just for people who are interested in this product, who want to monitor it, who want to probably get involved, but they start as a community member and then they, move to another section that probably fits their needs better. And by the way, some of these members are going to be with us at Semicon West in Phoenix in October. We have a pavilion, booth number 1851. So we welcome anyone to come by and meet us at the booth. And you can go to our website and sign up for these different membership packages. So it's LGDinTech.org, LGDinTech.org, and sign up as a member. We welcome it.
Just a quick question, because over my years in technology, I run into a lot of grad students and even undergrads who are interested in technology and trying to find their way around. Is the community membership something that's welcoming to students as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in the community membership, we have a lot of press. People are there. We have a lot of students. We have a lot of other trade associations. People join as community members. They have access to us. They have full access to our website. They're on our mailing list. They get our newsletters. So yes, we welcome basically, again, because we're building this community, we're building this ecosystem, we want everybody in the possible ecosystem to be a member at some level in our group.
Wow, that is terrific. I've learned a lot about lab-grown diamond today. And thank you, Liz, for taking us on this wonderful tour of this incredible technology.
Thank you.
And congratulations, of course, on your first anniversary for LGDinTech.
I tell you, frankly, it's gone by pretty fast. 1 year, it's already gone by. And we've attended or exhibited in 5 different trade shows already. Again, different, the battery show, the EV show, different shows, because we're really addressing and enhancing the availability of a product that can be used in all of them. So it's really quite interesting.
I'm fascinated. I can't wait to learn more. And speaking about learning more, going forward, this LGD and Tech Insights podcast series is ongoing, and it's going to be your source for the latest, best information on the use of grown diamond throughout the whole technology world, and why diamond is so vital to improve the component and subcomponent parts. So I hope you'll watch for future episodes. And in the meantime, be sure to check out LGDinTech. Thanks so much.